GM guys, I woke up today and I just want to say my world is completely shaken. My whole worldview, my perspective on my entire life, absolutely reversed. Pulled a reverse card right here. And the reason why is because I opened up the Osu game subreddit and I found this play. Gnahus, Wakashima Kanon, Tsukinami Nostalgia, Hidden DT 99.89% FC number 1, 1,332 PP. I was absolutely taken back by this play here. I was, wow. And if you guys do not know what this even means, the historical significance of this in the whole entire grand scheme of the Osu spear here is that Tsukinami was essentially the first 1,000 PP play in Osu game made by the player Vaxei. He is called by Vaxei the bacon guy, and he was playing this, got the first 1,000. Everybody and their mom was pog champing. Everybody went outside. They started popping wine bottles all over the place. Champagne is everywhere, and everyone was celebrating 1,000 PP play on Osu game with the Vaxei Tsukinami Osu game play. And essentially, now it is an end of an era, a new era here with these insane aim players. I mean, Gnahus, he has been around for a while now, but the fact is, this play is kind of fucking cool regardless. I mean, that accuracy is quite pristine. Imagine if we got an SS on this, that would be quite Sigma for double Sigma. What the fuck am I saying, bro? Okay, but that essentially happened here, and I just want to say my thoughts on the situation here. The 1K Tsukinami situation is crazy. Well, in any case, of course, this is quite an interesting thing where the Vaxei, he doesn't have the 1,000 PP anymore because of this current meta where it is actually aim, but it seems like they like to nerf the older aim maps. But now with the crazier aim maps, the super fast ones, the Say Goodbye, the Undertale Sands, well, these are just absolutely hopping on out of nowhere. Everybody's hopping onto them, getting the 1,000 PP plays left and right. But the fact is that this is quite an interesting thing to see. But I also want to talk about other things in this video. It is not just the Tsukinami. There's going to be some other shit in the Osu game subreddit, essentially. But I want to look at this thing where keep pushing, don't give up. So this guy's named Inkling, and I want to show you guys this wholesomeness of this post here. So essentially he was saying, explanation, these are my locals on the 200 BPM rate edit of Blend AS. Until very recently, I've always struggled to push stamina and speed. I've tried everything from KRC method to only playing stream maps. Some of my favorite players are players well known for flow aim and streaming like BTMC and Gookie Z, and a lot of my favorite players are on stream maps, so it was always a little sad not being able to play those maps because of stamina. Only recently we're playing a lot of DTS and my having to taken a leap, and I've been playing a lot more maps. I'm already past 900 hours plus however long I've spent playing on offline, and yeah. So he's essentially playing a lot, and he's giving this very good take. This is the Blend S map, the stream map. You're going to be tapping on the notes for 500 notes in a row, and you guys can see his improvement is quite a spectacular thing to see here, where his C rank went to an A rank with many days of playing. And this is quite an important thing in the Osu game sphere, where essentially you're playing the Osu game, you're tapping along to the beats here, and the thing is that sometimes you feel like you're at this wall. You can't really surpass it. You're only able to get to a certain amount of accuracy, but especially when it comes to streams, though, the only thing you got to do is just keep pushing, keep streaming, increase the stamina gap, increase the limits. It'd be like Naruto, Goku, when Goku's doing 1,000 push-ups, the next day he's doing 1,001, the next day he's doing 1,002. Like, you do even more and more streams in those as you go on. And a lot of these people who play the streams like, oh my gosh, I have no stamina. All these streams, like what the fuck, dude? Stamina is built up from you just jamming your fingers across the keyboard, just keep going at it. I think it's the most brain dead thing to train, which is stamina here. You just keep playing the map. Of course, it's kind of boring, but the fact is that a lot of motherfuckers who get mind controlled and get mind blocked about this, they can't push past their limits. No, you absolutely can. Be like Inkling here. But let's look at this, where this Mr. Dinklepussy got the competition. So let's look at this video. Oh my god, bro. Can you see this guy? Okay, like, this is literally one of those Asian crack kids, the Chinese little Asian kids in the dance thing in the arcade. He's essentially one of those guys, and I think Mr. Dinklepuss might have some sort of a competition here. He is probably one of the best stream players with his own feet here. But as you guys can see, this guy's able to tap 300 BPM with his feet, which is quite an interesting and spectacle thing to see here. So, yeah, I don't really know what else to say to this, except that Mr. Dinklepuss got some competition, and especially with this guy coming out of nowhere, able to do 300 BPM streams with just his feet here. I mean, he's quite unlocked the routine rapid trigger, but for the feet. What does improvement even mean nowadays? I was watching watching Mrekk stream and he was like, okay, what has the most potential to take number one? He said board, yes. And I was like, okay, dude playing since 2021 and the improvement might be even better than Mrekk's. And then bro hit me with he is 13. The point I'm trying to make is, why do such young people improve so fast? It doesn't even make sense. I started playing in 2018 when I was still 12. I turned 20 in December, but I couldn't improve for shit. It's just recently I was able to play 6 stars for PP and 7 stars to pass, even gain PP because CSR. Even now I'm hitting a skill wall and I'm struggling. So yeah, this guy, I like this guy's take here. The neuroplasticity. Also, when you're young, you don't overthink the game too much. You just sort of grind and improve as you go without worrying about the tiny autistic details. Example, the exactness, the grip, or tap technique, or area, etc. Yeah, personally, I struggle with these tiny autistic details when I'm playing too. But the neuroplasticity thing is a huge part with these little kids playing Osu game, because it's usually these little kids that are absolutely decimating the Osu sphere. And it's because there's neuroplasticity in your brain where the younger you are, like think about it, when you learn a language, for example, it's harder to do as an adult. But if you're a little kid, you can pretty much pick it up really quickly. So it's that neuroplasticity aspect. Your brain, they are able to form these connections and solidify them at a much faster rate than as an adult, right? And it makes sense because you're a little kid, you have to keep up with the speed of the world so that you can actually adapt and survive, right? And when you're an adult, well, I suppose there's other things you got to worry about, like reproduction and whatnot. But let's look at this next. Who would Mrekk date if both Lifeline and Call Better Grills? This is so degen, but I just want to talk about it anyways because I don't even know, bro. I just saw this and I was like, wow. Well, this is an interesting thing, but Lifeline would be a huge contender because he has visited Mrekk's room and gone on dates with him while also regularly making fun of him and banter, signifying their extremely close relationship. This means that Lifeline would definitely be a childhood friend character to Mrekk. However, because he is a childhood friend, and as we all know, childhood friends never win, Mrekk would probably mistake Lifeline's intentions as just a friend. This is where a callback comes in, for he is Russian, thus implying that a girl, a goalie bad, would whispers... What the fuck have I reading, bro? Okay, in addition, it would be a number 2 and constantly vying for top spot, indubitably marks him as a tsundere character to Mrekk, enhancing what people in the business refer to as a KAPNOYR. Lifeline knew this would be a difficult opponent to face, which is why he has been sending saboteurs directed at Okoli Bad, yet the human allegations for Okoli Bad was voiced upon Mrekk mistakenly by the masses, indirectly creating a rift between the two. This would inordinately be an unintended surefire win for Lifeline, but he unfortunately did not know 2 key things. The first is that once Mrekk finds out about this underhanded approach, it would undoubtedly count ties of the left line. The second is that relationship arguments between couples only make them stronger if they work it out. It's quite literally the battle's essential right now, and the stakes are high. What are your guys' opinion on this? Mods, please don't remind just. I don't fucking know, bro. Okay, like obviously this post is like so degen, but there is this weird thing going around with the top players that they're dating each other, some shit, even though they're guys. I don't know, man. This is, I think it's kind of weird, the Osu shipping here, but in any case, if I were to give an answer to this, who would Mrekk date if both Lifeline and Callie Better were girls? Like, honestly, I'm not going to answer that, bro. That's an extent of what I'm going to talk about. But I want to look at this one thing. Big titties, massive cock performing an ancient ritual on stream. So this is quite an interesting thing I was watching here. So he was essentially doing the mashallah, alhamdulillah, inshallah, and he was essentially summoning the gods. He was essentially, I guess this is some sort of ritual that he does before he plays Genshin Impact and try to get the C6 Ganyu by spending the $1,000 on the Primo gems here. But as you guys can see here, he's doing quite a ritual. He's essentially manifesting the 1000 PP play with the Jushin. So, genuine question in regards to Burnout. Help. I've always found myself to be someone who's fond of fun and speeding their way through the ranks and reaching milestones at faster than usual rates, but as of late, it's become more tiresome than anything. I don't really want to do myself to losing enjoyment of the game all because of some silly numbers. I just want to know this is something I'm going through. Yeah, so I somehow agree with this guy about the Burnout here, where a lot of people who play Osu game, they get caught up at first because it's so fun, where they're like, oh my gosh, my rank is going up and I'm getting so much PP, right? And at a point, at least for a lot of players, they hit some wall where to get this exact same dopamine spike of getting a rank or something, it becomes exponentially harder and harder because there's going to be more people who are competitive to get a higher rank, right? That's just the nature of the game. I'm assuming he's getting to this wall where that curve of the exponential curve becomes a bit more difficult. Like you got to put in more and more hours for you to get the same amount of ranks as you did before. And in relative aspect of that Burnout aspect, well, of course, I always have the dodge when you play Osu game. It's for fun, right? I don't think it's like super beneficial for you to play it in terms of what you want to do in your overall lifestyle, I suppose. I mean, it depends on your goals, though. If you're trying to become a super top player and become like a streamer and all of that shit, like, hey, man, go for it. But most of the people, well, they have some other shit going on in their lives, and most likely they're just playing it for fun, right? So you got to always keep it in that time frame. Okay, I'm playing just for fun, so I should keep it that way. So why am I even grinding for all these PP and shit, right? Maybe you, instead of playing like every day trying to commit your for friends just for some imaginary number that doesn't matter, maybe you play like every few weeks or so, or every couple of days, and you'll have a better time and don't have to deal with this burnout. That's currently my approach to it. But again, it depends on your standing. Of course, if you're like a super top player, then yeah, it probably makes sense. Like you will probably have some incentive to keep playing, but if you're just an average normal player, which is what most people are, then most likely it doesn't apply to you, right? Exceptions versus the rules. But I want to show you guys this one interesting video here. So this seems to be all right, but I just found this one post here. So it's a bit of a story time. So I'm going to probably put some gameplay in the background while I put on some captions or something. But I just want to read it to you guys because I think this narrative is quite applicable to a lot of OC players who play easy game. And I just want to give my thoughts about it. But essentially, I was beat up by hard rock players in Poland. I don't actually use forums or Reddit. I usually just post comments on easy player sites like Twitter or Stormfront, but they didn't seem appropriate places to post my story. So here goes. I just wanted to share this with all of you. November 3rd, I flew to Europe for a Euro trip type tour, not a guide or package deal, just going around by myself. I paid for half the trip with the wages I earned over the last 2 years. My dad paid for the other half. I am 19. I guess that is normal starting college and all. Before that, I worked for my dad's company part-time, so I guess you could say he paid for all of it, LOL. I did France and then Italy and then Bolon next. I am an easy main, so I wanted to see fellow mod one tricks in these places. Yes, I know there are different kinds of mods players and not really full circle clickers like us. I went to an Osu book store in Italy and it had a lot of Rectagon books, but no GN or Ekro. Like I said, I expected that, not a surprise. I went to Poland, which everyone is famous for its amount of HR players, its fanboys, and everything going on right now. Here, I found directions for a local OC players meetup center. I went and didn't see anybody, but it was covered in graffiti, mostly racial slurs and hentai drawings. Whatever, I started taking pictures. Then some people came out and confronted me. This should have been my first warning sign something was not right, because photography is not a crime. They were not violent, but they were not friendly. Like asking who I was, what I wanted. They all spoke good English, actually, not uncommon in Poland. I said I was a tourist and an OC player and just wanted to take pictures. Then they got friendly and told me I should have asked first, but pictures are no rule violation, so I don't know why. But I didn't say anything, and they invited me inside. We hung out for a while and smoked hash. There's no good dank in Europe, as you might find out like in Gali. Everyone smokes hash of tobacco, which isn't as cool as it sounds. We started talking about Osu in our favorite mods. I was trying to talk about how cool it was when the gameplay gets modified of all types of mods, especially considering there's new ones in Laser. They're like, yeah, no doubt it was found, but they wanted to talk about easy this and easy that. And that was when we started getting in the debate. I told them that what they called enjoying a mod is different from just having small circles and faster AR. They said enjoyment is changing the mechanics in which the game works, and I said I agreed. That is what I'm saying. Real enjoyment is manipulating the game mainly through main circles, Baker, and learning to read better. And they said yes, that is what we're trying to get rid of. And I said no, but we don't have that right now. We need more easy mains. And everyone at the same time was like, no, we are hard rock players. We are against easy mod. Hard rock players oppose those people. And I said, but not easy mains. Easy players are the players who like slow AR and big circles. I had a fanny pack, yeah, lame, I know, for my camera, and in that I had this green and white bow tie, also super lame. It was a joke, but I wasn't wearing it. And I said, Luke, these are the easy colors, green and white, like versus the HR red and black. Well, these guys had a lot of red and black in the building already, so I thought they would get it. I think that is when it started to get a really bad vibe, really tense in the air. The circle size thing was funny. We disagreed, but I think they thought I was just confused. Everyone was uncomfortable now. Then someone said the PP mechanism itself doesn't work with a good chunk of current mods. And I said, exactly, that's it. The PP system is against mods, and they kind of agreed and said, yes, we don't have a good PP system. Just new metas changing all the time, and we needed a PP system more suited for hidden and hard rock. I said, no, we need a less rewarding PP system in general. Performance points are the enemy, and we need to greatly reduce how PP works to have more enjoyment in Osu. Then they're all like, no, again, ja pierdolę, kurwa. You know that thing people do in groups when everyone else says no or expresses some disapproval at the same time. And one of them said, but we do want to stop performance points, and they kind of spoke back and forth in Polish. But I didn't really understand. They asked me what I meant. So I said, okay, I had the floor. I was going to tell him about the joys of easy mod, and I tried to explain to him some of the Celia and easy champ. I said the natural order in OSU is that the best rise to the top ranks. Tournaments pick who's the best to compete in our chill. They said, what do we want is a more equal mod PP system. I said we want more people to learn, read, and aim better, and to have the ability to not be born addicted. They said that this is what we have now. I said, no, it wouldn't be even better. One of the guys said it was like degeneracy, and I said it was not degeneracy. Eventually, one of the guys spoke up, and I thought he was Polish, but he spoke English perfectly, so he may have not been. He said he knew how easy players were and that they were basically degens. He asked me if I thought AR being painstakingly slow was not a good thing, and I said yes. And he asked me if I thought players were unequal, and I told him yes, and that not every player would have equal skills. I said everyone has the right to enjoy even AR 0 if they wanted and not be done aggression against, but not every player had to be treated equally by the PP reward system. He asked me what I thought about hentai Gunner skins, and I said that I have no particular opinion on them, but I'll probably get rid of them if I could. They had to not be such porn addicts. Then he called me a degen again, and someone else said I was a faggot. And then they basically all started shouting the F slur at me, and one of them grabbed me by the wrist. They pulled me out the door. It was up 3 floors and basically dragged me down the stairs on my back. It hurt really bad. I remember yelling, "You gotta break into community rules," and things like that. "Stop initiating force against me, ya pero dola." Then they kicked me around on the ground in the hallway before they took my camera and threw me outside. I was crying and stuff. I just sat there. I was in shock because it was so sudden. Looking back, there were warning signs there. I think they felt bad for me and gave the camera back, but when I look later, they stole the memory card of all my Polish photos. So they initiated force and theft. They broke the OC community rules. I knew the hard rock players were not real mod players, but I never knew they would do something that bad. I wasn't seriously hurt, just kicked around a little. Lots of bruises and little cuts. I am fine, guys, so don't worry, just need to share. Wow. So this story here, I'm really sorry that this happened to this guy, by the way, because there actually is a bit of this divide between the easy players and the hard rock players, and there is this weird stigma around them. Where the easy players, they have their own little mini community where they're like, "Oh, the PP system doesn't matter. Oh, I'm just playing easy because this is just the way of life and whatnot." And then the hard rock players, they have their own thing, right? Because they're complete opposites. And I guess they actually have some sort of division between an OSU game between the easy players and the hard rock players. And currently, my own opinion on this, I mean, of course, there's like these factions. Like if you think about the book, the Federalist Reviews from the old times and American independence days, there was essentially the warning by James Madison. He was telling everyone, guys, beware of the factions. Or was it Thomas Jefferson? And if you think about it today in the political world in the US, well, we have the Democrats and the Republicans, super bipartisan, everything is super divided, right? He was essentially warning of this large factioning event. And this is not just a politics thing. This is also in the OSU game between the easy players and the hard rock players. And of course, I don't have like super thoughts about this, about what side I would personally be in, because I personally play both of those mods, so I don't really care. But the fact is that there is some sort of a gang war, like the Blood versus the Crisp, but the Easies versus the Hard Rock players. And if you guys are out there in Europe and you're out here trying to find the OSU players and you are an easy player, well, you better protect yourself because you're essentially going to be walking into an uncharted territory. These gang members will not be hesitating to fight against you with their small circle sizes. But that's pretty much all I want to say in this video. Just wanted to talk about the various things in OSU game here. And yeah, I think some of these things are pretty important. Just wanted to briefly touch on some things, and I'll see you guys next time.